Yeah, you kind of have to hold it down. There you go.
Yeah, here, okay.
Okay. I think I called it to order last time, so I will do that again. Okay, we will call the Historic Preservation Commission to order at 4:02. We'll do a quick roll call here, so we'll say, all right, Member Gergen?
Yes.
Member Phillips?
Yes,
Member Hoff?
Yes.
Member Mance?
Here.
And then Member Belt is excused. And I think we'll go to citizens' comments. I don't have that big long spiel here, so I don't think we need it, but any citizen comments? No? Okay, all right, we will close citizen comments. All right, oh wait, that was after, sorry. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting, I skipped that. August 22nd, 2024. Pastor Florin did have a couple of changes he emailed me. Let me see, let me try and find them here. I have the basement or attic, it should be the basement or sanctuary main level he would like to change that to. And then I have either up or down from the main first level. It should be either up or down from the parking level. So there are 3 levels: the basement, fellowship hall, parking level, and then sanctuary main level. Does that sound right? Okay, okay. I'm just reading your email. You want to make those changes at those spots. So,
I'll make a motion to approve with the changes as presented.
I'll second.
okay. And then, all right. Now we will go to the presentation. So review, discussion, possible action on the installation design of a lift located at Agape Community Church, 449 West Wisconsin Avenue, PWV 089-301-302. And I believe Pastor Florin is here for that.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. So I assume that everyone received the materials, correct? Okay,
Yes.
great. So the way we got here is, I talked to, well, first of all, Dick Stelt, our architect, cannot be here. He's actually in the air apparently right now, traveling. So I said, Dick, what do you think? It's like, oh, just go ahead and present, and I'll do my best. I'm not an architect, so we'll see what we do here. But in regards to what I told him, there were certain requirements that I wanted Dick to follow as he was putting together the design. Obviously, the first one is just to make sure that it fits the necessary specifications for the hoistway. And one of the documents that you guys received is like a very detailed drawing of the hoistway. That's just a sample. We have not yet selected the vendor, but most of them are in the general vicinity of what that document is all about. So obviously fit the hoistway, fit what we need from a lift perspective. The second requirement I told Dick is we cannot touch the stained glass window that's there. We cannot block it. We cannot have any way be necessary to take it out or damage or anything like that. Next requirement is the window below it to the basement. We cannot touch that. So that was a requirement I told him because we need the light, and besides that window is quite lovely. It's a cute window. So anyway, so I told him we cannot touch the windows in any way. The next requirement I told him is that it has to fit the design of the building, the overall flow of the building. So it can't be, so what I told him is like an appendage that sticks out. I've seen enough historical buildings that were required to put an ADA accessibility, and they did not look very nice with the structure there. As I said, it has to fit the flow of the building. The other thing that I told him, I said, anything that we do as a structure to enclose the hoistway has to reutilize the materials that we're taking out. So you'll see some of the design, and I'll mention in the design those points where we are reusing. But I told him that we have to reuse, we have to reclaim the materials, as well as we have some stained glass windows that I'd like to put back, and the new structure would actually have one of the stained glass windows, actually a couple of them, that we have in our possession. So those were the requirements that I told Dick, okay, this is what we must have. So he came up with the design. Now regarding the design, if you look at the pictures, the bottom part of the building, the material there is,
Could we put that on the television, please?
okay. There it is. We can actually focus in on the 50-yard. So what you're seeing is what the building would look like from different perspectives, and it might be, and the best view maybe, Matt, go to the 50-yard one above because it's a little bigger. Yeah, right there.
No.
Oh,
This one?
yep. So that one, when you look at the bottom portion, you can see that the bottom portion of the structure looks like stone, and that's the stone that we would like to reuse and reclaim from where the doors would be. We would put it at the bottom. So that's the first thing. The second thing is above the stone. You'll notice that's we are proposing brick to and the color of the brick to resemble as much as possible the color of the stones. And we're learning, I am learning, because Dick already knows all this stuff, so I am learning that probably something along the lines of Cream City brick or equivalent, depending on what we can get for that. In regards to the windows that you see there, they may end up being either more elaborate, because what we really want to do, so that's the third thing, would be the fact that we really want to use some of the old windows that we have, not just the ones that were taken out, but we are actually given some stained glass windows that were rescued from another structure, another old structure. So they were brought to us, and we were told, I bet you know what to do with these. And I said, yes, we do. So the windows, I always like when, more light than not. So the windows might look like this, but you might have an extra one in that structure. So that's the in a sense, the ideas behind this design. And we're seeking your approval to be able to do that, and then go through the building process requirements to be able to build this enclosure.
I think this is a fantastic design that does a wonderful job incorporating the style of the building in there and reusing the materials. I was really pleased when I saw it.
Those two.
I bet.
I showed Dick some where I was talking to him about, I don't want it to look like this. I don't want it to look like what I would call appendages.
I myself obviously think it's amazing as well, and the colors and just actually just even thinking about just turning the door from where it currently is now and the space that it actually gives there. the couple of questions, I have like two questions. So on the door for the actual lift, remind me, does that opens up flush against, well, not flush against the church because there's that space, but it opens up that way, correct?
Yeah, so
Not the
on the
other way.
inside, we're gonna work, again, we're gonna make sure that it doesn't block anything in terms of the pathway. And also that it's, obviously for code and all that. On the outside, however, the door itself, the idea would be that it would not, the hinges would not be on the left, it would be on the right. So as you walk in, so you walk towards the door, you open and it becomes, a simple way as opposed to
Okay.
walking around. So yeah, all that will definitely be specified in the building material, in the building approvals.
I was just having difficulty with it because then, of course, I was wondering about like handrails or things like that, but those, of course, would get into the way of the actual door itself and people in wheelchairs. So thank you
Now,
for
once you
that.
step inside, there's different requirements and codes that will abide by on the inside, and then we'll make sure that you did that with the lift approvals. There's a whole, I'm discovering a whole new world about lift approvals, so so it's fun.
The actual lift itself, obviously wheelchair best, but obviously people with crutches and canes and things like that. Is there, and I was trying to look over, by the way, the architect is amazing. This is probably some of the best work I've ever seen and had the opportunity to actually look over. It was very enjoyable, the color schemes and how everything was laid out. Is there an opportunity, I don't know this, and you might have a better idea, is there an opportunity where, if the person can't stand for the 30 seconds it takes to either come up or come down, is there a seat that drops down that the
Excellent
person
question.
can partake?
It'll depend on the lift and the accessories. We can certainly look into that. I was told that the lift will accommodate an individual in a wheelchair and an attendant, so another person with them. So if they, if they need assistance, they'll be able to do that. So the lift will have accessories that I cannot speak to at the moment because we have not yet selected.
I just didn't know if it was actually in the packet somewhere and I missed it. So that was just one of the questions that I had.
Probably not, because we have not selected the vendor. And once we select the vendor, we'll look at what options they offer. To me, the safer, the better. So we'll see how that goes.
I've never, up until last month was the first time I actually ever used a lift, and I used our lift here. So it was just kind of interesting to kind of have that, a little bit of that viewpoint for a moment, and then to think about what that looks like for the general public that would be coming. So I think it's fabulous.
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
actually. Visiting my 90-year-old mother a lot in a senior living facility, I know the challenges of people that are older. Is there going to be, there are these square metal with the handicap symbols on the outside that they just push to open the door?
So that'll be part of what the lift accessories will offer us.
Okay, on the outside of the building. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so the door assistance, things like that. So depends on the lift itself and what's selected. You're talking about to be able to open automatically, correct? Am I understanding
Right, you
you
just
correctly?
push that button on the outside, and then there's also going to be one inside for when they exit. Because there's people that can't.
Right,
open,
can't,
you know.
I understand.
I really ask that that be included.
Yeah, so I cannot speak to that right now because I don't know what the lift itself offers.
But that could probably be another accessory offered separately if it's
definitely
not
look
part of
into
it, I would assume.
we can definitely look into that to see what's possible, available, and so I can't speak to it right now because we have not yet selected the mechanics.
I'd ask that once you do finalize everything, that you forward it to staff for staff approval, like if we'd approve it today, and then include that also to ensure.
Would that be a historic
I don't.
commission, or would that be a building question?
I don't think so. I don't think that that would be in the purview of the Historic Preservation Committee. I appreciate it, and I think those are valid concerns. But as far as this goes, I think it's more as far as the integrity of how it looks historically, and we certainly want to be able to keep you moving on your project. And this is the second time we've met on this, and I really feel that it's enough.
And this body does have, for this particular project, installing this lift, this body would have final approval with that.
Yeah.
We could ask, though, that staff approval is required for the final plans and everything, correct?
The building plans and everything?
Yeah, because he hasn't selected the vendor, things could just change a tiny bit or
We
be.
would still go through the building permit process to make sure that everything that's done there complies with the universal building code. That wouldn't really be village staff, but it'd be the building inspector.
And as far as ADA concerns go, I mean, this is a historic building, so they have some leeway, but as far as this new one, they would have to go by ADA compliancy with and for the lift, and having those automated doors are part of
That could be a requirement of ADA.
ADA
Yeah.
compliance.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe it.
Otherwise, I think it
Well,
looks,
Again, the building inspector would be in charge of that piece of it.
Yeah.
We're really in charge of the outside of the building.
Yeah.
I think it keeps within the continuity of the building. It's gonna look like it was probably almost an original, part of the original building, and I'm positive and will be voting for this.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve this design for Agape Church as presented.
I'll
I'll
second.
second that.
Jeff
Wait,
can have it.
Okay.
You can have it.
No, you can have it, it's okay.
I'll say second, Phillips. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Yay.
Thank you so much. Come and see it when it's done. Come work with it.
Yep, will do.
Okay.
Make
All
a
right.
motion,
Next is adjournment. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Everything off.